shape that I said. Yeah, felt good. It was drifting pitch made of wood. And your hands and knees felt cold and wearing the grass to me. Well, I sat naked, shiver looking good from the cold sunlight that's reflecting off the moon. And baby, come angels fly around you, reminding me we used to be thin, not just you and the sound. The world began. That's how the world will end.
Who would know this art?
So, go ahead, introduce yourself.
I'm Peter Marsh. I went to high school in Mitchell, South Dakota with Grant. He was a year ahead of me, but we were thick as thieves. We were good friends. We worked at Culver's together. So
you have a pretty decent history with this man.
Yeah, definitely.
And how long would you say that you had known him altogether?
Gosh, 15 years, just about. Yeah,
wow.
You know, because I met him right a little bit after I turned 16.
Okay.
I'm 31 now.
Okay.
So yeah, probably
wow.
almost 15 years. Yeah.
Now, what was your relationship like with him, and what was he like when he was coming up in that era, in that time?
That era, we were just kids at the time. You know?
Okay.
We were high school kids.
Yeah.
Doing high school kid stuff. Little trouble here and there. No, but we were just good pals. And then he had graduated, I had graduated, but we were always stayed in touch.
Yeah.
Either texting or here and there, at least like, hey, what's up, how you doing? Even in passing like that.
Yeah.
And then he moved away. He was actually in Sioux Falls, or he was in Fargo for a while. So he moved away. We still kept in regular contact, moved back to Sioux Falls, and then we kind of reconnected. I had moved back up to Sioux Falls too myself.
Yeah.
So, and then kind of rekindled. We started writing some music together. We played a little bit together. Did a couple shows. Wrote a lot of music together that I'm sure a lot of it's out there. A lot of it maybe I still have, but always art was always at the center of it. That was one really cool thing with Grant. He always had a real good appreciation for art. He was super supportive of his friends and everything that they did.
So he wasn't just creative, he was also a supporter of the creative energy of the people around him.
Absolutely.
Wow.
And not even that, like not even just stopping at art. Like he was supportive to anybody. He was supportive to everybody.
Yeah.
If you were he had people that he was friends with that I wasn't necessarily friends with, or that I didn't know,
Sure.
But that was one thing that always struck me, is he had a broad circle, or you had, a interesting group of people, but it was always there, it was real supportive of whatever anybody did.
Right.
My thing at the time was music. And that's all I ever wanted to do, and he was super supportive of that. Then what was it? He was. It was pretty tough. 2019 for me was a really tough year.
Yeah.
I had lost my dad actually in February of that year, and then we lost Grant, in October.
Yeah.
So that was tough, and he was there for me through a lot of that, and I love him always for that. That was really huge. That support was huge, because I was in a pretty tough. That was hard. That was really hard, and then losing him and everything. So, I look back and I smile and laugh, and I've cried a lot. But it's all there. Grant was everything. Grant was life. If you know what I mean. He was everything. It was everything. There's the humor, the sadness, the happiness, the laughter, the joking around.
You didn't just get one piece or another piece. You got the whole thing,
the whole
and everything.
Right.
Which is funny that seems to be a common thread with a lot of folks that I talk to about him, is that it wasn't like, oh, you just get these things and that's what it was. You got the whole spectrum from him. And
absolutely.
You got the spectrum because he cared about you. But it seems as also he knew that the people that he had around him cared about him as much, so that he could speak and be open and say these things.
Definitely, dude. Absolutely.
Man, what are some memories that you remember from him that stood out for you in your time?
it's kind of a shitty circumstance or whatever.
It's okay.
I didn't have the best home life. My family was
Gotcha.
not the best situation for a kid to be in.
Sure.
So I got kicked out more times than I care to admit. But Grant was always I crashed on his floor, his place. I can't even tell you how many times, you know. And that for me, like coming from the background I had, you know, not the best family. So like to me, he's blood. To me, he's fan. You know,
Right.
I'm you know,
Yeah.
another part of me in that way.
Yeah.
And which was huge. Because again, that support, he always had my back, no matter what, every
Yeah.
time. You know, even when I was fucking up, and that's the thing. He was a good friend like that. He would tell you when you were fucking up. You know what I mean? He'd tell you. He wouldn't mince words. You know.
Right.
So like I said, you got the whole thing. You didn't get just the.
I see what you mean.
I'm nice. I'm gonna be your friend and pat you on the back.
Right.
And validate
No,
you,
it's like,
you
no,
know.
hey, man, you fucked up on that
Yeah,
one.
no,
Yeah,
exactly.
jeez.
So like
It's good.
the support, but also that like good friend, like, hey, what's up, man? What are you doing? Like,
Support too,
yeah,
though.
dude,
That's
yeah,
support.
right. Looking
Yeah.
out for you in the best way.
Mm.
And playing music with them. That's the other memory. I'll always have that.
Yeah.
That'll never go away, and that's mine. And I get to keep that, and I'm really thankful for that.
Was there a memorable song that you guys put together as a collaborative as a thing? Was there something that you guys created that was like, this was our penultimate?
We did Peeler City 3 or 4 track thing together. It was just me and him.
Okay.
Just keys, and he did guitar and stuff and some drum loops and stuff. But that to me was like, that was one of the first things we had done together. So that
Yeah.
stuff was really cool and close to my heart, because it was, you know, the thing about Grant, and it's even weird like tonight. So like, I'll tell you this now, I didn't write a song. I didn't prepare anything to say because I didn't really feel like that was appropriate. You
It's
know.
fair. It's fair.
And
it's okay.
The reason I say that though is like Grant with art and anything he did creatively, like it was never contrived. Like his stuff was always like fly off the seat of his pants right here in the moment right
Yeah.
now. Like that stuff we recorded was never rehearsed. We literally hit set up and like just did it.
Yeah,
You know? It
yeah.
wasn't, it was, you know, lightning in a bottle or like chaos and magic or
Yeah.
whatever you want to call it, you know.
Fair.
So to me that, yeah, which is like so perfect and like perfect with Grant, or like fitting, you know, for me.
Yeah.
So like this, when I came here, I didn't really want to have, I just wanted to be really in the moment, you know.
It's fair.
So
yeah.
and I feel that's the best way I can remember him, you know.
Honor him by the things that you remembered most, which was what you were left with in a way.
Absolutely, absolutely, dude. And I'm lucky, and if I have good things in my life, he's definitely a big part of that. He's definitely made me a better person, a better friend, and I'm all the better for it. So,
Yeah.
and I'm lucky because one good friend is worth a lot. You know,
Man.
one real friend. You know,
Yeah.
a real
Oh, yeah.
friend. You
Yeah.
know, like,
And
it seems like these days it's harder and harder to come by. I know that sounds cliche, and that, you know, but man,
no, there's merit to
it's-
it. There's merit to it.
No.
It's the something about his authenticity that is very hard to find these days.
Exactly.
And you know when you find it.
Yeah.
And that, I think, is the difference. Is like there are people who've gotten really good at kind of just navigating that cusp where it's like, I'm just gonna give you this, but I'm a good friend.
Right.
And then you find out later, you're like, that wasn't really everything.
Yeah.
You know, but then, like, you know when you find that person.
Yeah.
And they seem to stick really, like, I mean, they almost become a scar, if you will, as being a part of you. Like, they embed themselves in that capacity.
Oh, yeah,
You're like,
dude.
now I've got a
Yeah.
little bit of your skin and your essence here.
Uh-huh.
And you keep it because it was real.
No, absolutely, dude.
What is something that you can describe in detail that you were left with that embodies for you Grant?
Something that's left. Honestly, that for me, the part I had struggled a lot with things in my life, a lot of drug and alcohol abuse, a lot of addiction issues, a lot of emotional issues. Again, I didn't have the best home life growing up.
Fair.
And for me, what I'm left with, you know, when he left, when we lost him, that was, you know, a catalyst or a moment for me to move forward and better my life, and not, you know, let the things that can get me down.
Right.
So describing it in detail is that authenticity. It's that goodness, you know, that he was, and he was always there.
Yeah.
And I think that's been my motivation. Like I'm doing this for him, if that makes any sense. But I'm doing this, I'm trying to be a better person myself, and that losing him and my dad at the same time was kind of a life kick in the ass. There's no fair way to or nice way to put it, really. So
you can't sugarcoat that,
right, dude. It really was, and so for me that authenticity and that like realness, and like you said, that's hard to find.
Yeah.
So that realness for me is something I always have, and I'm really thankful for.
If you could say anything, if you had any last words that you would like to convey to him, what would you tell him?
I love you, brother, always. Meant the world to me, and you were the best of us, truly.
Peter, I appreciate you sharing,
course,
and
sir.
thank you for the time. Know that it is okay. That is what this is for. We are talking about a great man who left us. And left us.
Your heart felt good. It was just a picture made of wood. And your hands and knees felt cold and wet in the grass and me. Well, I started naked, shivering, looking good from the cold sunlight that's a picture of the moon. And then come angels to fly around you, reminding me we used to be free and not just doing this out. The world began. That's how the world will end.
Everything that came together is falling apart. I got this thing that I can sit on my own. I don't fucking people over.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Oh, that was good. That was